Chick-a-doodle, an unaccessible packed ghost. Christine's mom struck the match and lit the kiln at the Potter's Circle, the furnace. They pictured the freshly scraped bread, beds, bowls, mugs, and vases waiting to bake on the kiln shelf at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. They imagined how the glaze would make each earthenware piece come alive in brilliant, shiny color. Second grade Christian Bryce came to her mom pottery studio on Friday after school. Christian's mom created unique clay beds for jewelry, but Christian was more interested in pottery, so she learned to sculpt pottery from her mom's friend and business partner, Mrs. Rodriguez, who created earthenware bowl on a potter wheel. Her mom said apprenticing under an expert was one of the best ways to learn a craft. Your vases are so unique, Christine quoted Mrs. Rodriguez, wiping her clay-covered hand with a towel. I bet they sell out at a craft fair. I'm just excited they are considered good enough to be entered in the community-wide fair, squealed Christian. Shh! Do you hear that sound? Interrupted Mrs. Price. The porters froze everything except their eyes, which shot up the rafters. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Well, I'll be, exclaimed Mrs. Rodriguez. A baby robin struggled out of a dark corner. Screech, scratch, screech, scratch. A chick walked shakily along the rafters, unaware that its life was in danger not only from the increasing heat, but also from an accidental tumble of the wooden planks below. It is too late to turn off the kiln, panicked Mrs. Bryce. That chick will roast up there. Ladies, we've got to rescue the little fella, said Mrs. Rodriguez, hitting for the heavy metal ladders. Single-handedly, she carried in and set up the 12-foot ladder. Then, like a firefighter rescuing a kitten from a tree, she boldly ascended the enormous ladder while carrying an empty pot. She managed to coax the chick toward the box. With chirping noise, the potters gathered around. When she and the chick safely reached the ground, "Well, chick," said Mrs. Bryce, "we saved you from roasting like a marshmallow. But now what?" "Welcome to our home." Smiling broadly, Krishnan rode into the house holding the box on her lap. "What is in the box?" asked Mr. Bryce, his curiosity piqued. Knowing the fire pottery wouldn't be ready until the next day, that was that was what typically made his daughter smile like a Cheshire cat. "Yeah, what is in the box?" echoed Christian's brother Rick. The chick answered the question for both of them with a chirp like a high-pitched whistle. Christian spoke a mile a minute as she described the rescue and how they waited for the mama bird to return. She explained how they waited and waited, but the chick mother failed to appear. So Christian volunteered to care for the chick until it was strong enough to fly. "Rick, would you grab the aquarium from the attic? I think it will be perfect," said Christian. As Rick flew out of the kitchen, Misty entered. She slowly headed to the box, ear perked, tail stiff, hair up, her nose twitched as rapidly as a hummingbird wings, furiously sniffing the chick she couldn't see. Then she broke into a deep and angry bark. "Uh-oh," said Tristan, grabbing Misty's collar just in time. Misty obeyed commands most of the time. However, the temptation appeared to be too much for her training. She struggled against Tristan's grip as Mrs. Bryce and Rick transferred the chick from the box to the aquarium. Mrs. Bright cleared a high shelf in the kitchen for the chick aquarium, safe from their 110-pound bounding Labrador retriever. Miss, Misty Mrs. Bryce lined the aquarium with newspaper, places a shallow dish of water in the corner, and folded one of Rick Socker's socks into a cozy nest. When Rick answered what Robin chick eat, Mr. Bryce grabbed a plastic cup and headed to the garage for shovel and flashlights. "Worms!" she called over his shoulders. "Let's get digging, gang!" Chirp, 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 Christian squeaked as she dropped the worm into the chick's gaping beak. After her family garden digging adventure, she then helped her parents prepare the family dinner. After their own stomachs were full, the brides watched the chick gobble up more worms. Then they all headed to bed. Before crawling under the cover, Before crawling under the cover with her novel, Christian went online using her computer and web browser and learned that in addition to worms, robins eat berries and fruits such as grapes, cherries, and tomatoes. At breakfast, Tristan mimicked a mama bird by chirp, chirp, chirping as she dropped worm and grape hard into the chick's waiting beak. Overbuilt with waffle and strawberries, the family voted to name the chick Chickadoo because a streak commented he looked like a cool dude when he stick out his chest, wearing out his home. All morning, Chickadoo looked to the nearest person for food whenever he heard chirp, chirp, chirp. Everyone enjoyed the fluffy chick. Everyone, that is, except Misty, whose stress level that not decreases signed the Bryces took Chickadoo into their home. That afternoon, while Tristan wrote invitations in her bedroom for her upcoming birthday party, Misty sat beneath Chickadood's aquarium in the kitchen and started at the unwelcome house guest. "Woof, woof!" Terrified, Chickadoo sprung into the air as Salt lifted like a puppet by a string and landed plonk in an empty stew pot on the stove top. Tristan heard the commotion and raced to the kitchen. "I think we need to get you to a safer place," she told Tigadoot, "and give you your territory back," she told Misty, "a home of his own. You must be Tristan and Chickadoo," gasped a woman named Kay as they entered the yard gate. "We spoke on the phone. I'm so glad you found us on the internet. My mom drove me right over after we spoke." "You did the right thing by bringing Chickadoo to the Wildlife Rescue Center," said Kay. "Hundreds of cities of injured or outfitted wildlife, mammals, birds, and reptiles come through these doors, and our staff is trained to provide the best possible care for all of them." She went on to explain that a vegetarian would examine Chickadoo. Then, because Chickadoo already had his flight feathers, he would stay in the flight cage where he would practice flying with all the rescue birds. He would be fed every 30 minutes by hand, food and vitamins. After 2 or 3 weeks of all his nurturing, he would be released into the wild near other robins where he should thrive. What a relief, said Christian, scooping pasta onto everyone's plate that evening. Chickadoo, going to be a okay. That chick was totally cool, asked Rick. I'll miss the little guy chirping. Grrr, woof! Misty growled as she slept curled up on her pillow. Misty won't, giggled Mrs. Bright.